The day I discovered my billionaire boss was not just my husband's identical twin brother, but the man who had secretly carried a lifetime of pain connected to my marriage, my entire world collapsed in a single moment. I had walked into his office believing I was only fighting for my career, never knowing I was about to uncover a family secret that could destroy everything I loved. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please like this video, leave a comment, share this story with someone who believes people can change, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue sharing emotional journeys that touch the heart. When I first met Everett Callaway, I knew him only as one of the most powerful businessmen in the country. His name appeared on buildings, charity foundations, and financial magazines. People described him as a billionaire who built an empire from nothing, a man with a brilliant mind and a reputation for being impossible to impress. To the world, Everett was confident, controlled, and untouchable. But behind the expensive suits and the success was a man who carried a loneliness that no amount of money could erase. My name was Clara Whitmore, and before I entered Everett's world, I believed I had already experienced every kind of heartbreak life could offer. I grew up watching my parents struggle, learning early that happiness was not something you waited for, it was something you created. I worked hard, earned a scholarship, and built a career in corporate design because I wanted to prove that my dreams were bigger than my circumstances. I married Adrienne Callaway 6 years before meeting Everett. Adrienne was kind, thoughtful, and gentle in a way that made me believe I had found the safest place in the world. He was not wealthy like his family, and he never cared about the luxury surrounding his last name. He worked as an architect, loved creating beautiful spaces, and always believed that a person's value came from their heart rather than their bank account. But there was one thing Adrienne never told me. He had a twin brother. I discovered that secret on a bright Monday morning when I arrived at the headquarters of Callaway Global to present a major design proposal. I had spent months preparing for that opportunity. My small design company had struggled after losing several clients, and this contract could save everything I had built. As I entered the executive floor, I saw Everett Callaway standing near the large windows overlooking the city. For a moment, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. The man turned around, and my heart stopped. He had Adrienne's face. The same eyes. The same smile hidden beneath a serious expression. The same familiar features that had comforted me for years. But there was something different. Everett carried a coldness that Adrienne never had. It was as if someone had taken the same person and placed years of disappointment and responsibility on his shoulders. The meeting that followed was filled with tension. Everett studied my work carefully, asking questions that showed he understood every detail. He was demanding, but he was fair. He challenged my ideas, pushed me beyond my comfort zone, and eventually offered me the position of creative director for one of his largest projects. I should have been celebrating. Instead, I felt terrified. Because I knew I was looking at the man my husband had never mentioned. When I returned home that afternoon, I struggled to find the courage to ask Adrienne about Everett. The moment I showed him a picture from the company website, the color disappeared from his face. For years, I had believed my husband had no secrets from me. But that day, I realized love could exist beside hidden pain. Adrienne finally revealed the truth. Everett was his identical twin brother, born only minutes before him. Their childhood had been filled with complicated emotions. Their parents were wealthy but distant, constantly pushing Everett toward becoming the perfect heir while treating Adrienne as the child who did not belong in their world. As they grew older, the brothers became strangers. Everett believed Adrienne had abandoned the family responsibilities they both shared. Adrienne believed Everett had chosen money and power over their relationship. Years of silence turned a small misunderstanding into a wall neither brother knew how to break. The most painful part was discovering that Everett had known who I was before hiring me. He knew I was Adrienne's wife. He knew I had no idea about their connection. And he still offered me the job. I felt betrayed by both men. I questioned Everett's intentions and wondered if I had become part of an old family battle. I considered leaving the company immediately, but something stopped me. Behind Everett's harsh personality, I sensed a deeper wound. He was not acting like a man trying to hurt us. He was acting like someone who had spent years convincing himself that he did not need anyone. Working with Everett during the following weeks changed my understanding of him. I expected arrogance, but I found someone who quietly supported struggling employees, someone who remembered the names of workers who cleaned his offices, someone who personally funded education programs for children who had no opportunities. His kindness was hidden beneath layers of pride. One afternoon, while reviewing plans for a community project, I discovered an old photograph on Everett's desk. It showed two young boys standing together, smiling without the weight they carried as adults. They looked exactly like Adrian and Everett, but they looked happy. That picture made me realize something important. The two brothers were not born enemies. Life had simply taught them to protect themselves in different ways. I began encouraging Everett and Adrian to reconnect, but both resisted. Adrian was afraid of reopening old wounds, while Everett feared admitting that he had been hurt. Their pride had protected them for years, but it had also kept them away from the family they both secretly missed. The biggest turning point came when Everett's company faced a crisis. A major project was threatened because of false accusations from a former business partner who wanted revenge. Many people expected Everett to fight with anger, but instead, he chose honesty and patience. He opened every record, accepted responsibility for mistakes, and protected employees who had nothing to do with the conflict. During that difficult period, I saw the man behind the billionaire image. Everett was exhausted, but he continued showing up. He carried the pressure of thousands of people depending on him, yet he still found time to help others. Adrian also saw it. For the first time in years, the brothers began speaking honestly. They did not pretend the past had never happened. They admitted their mistakes, their fears, and the ways they had both allowed resentment to control their lives. Their healing was not instant. Forgiveness rarely happens in one perfect moment. It happens through small choices, through humility, and through the courage to admit that someone else's pain matters too. As months passed, Everett became less like a distant employer and more like family. He respected my marriage and never crossed the boundaries that fear and rumors could have created. Instead, he became someone who wanted to repair what had been broken long before I entered their lives. I learned that the title of billionaire did not protect him from loneliness. Wealth could buy comfort, but it could not buy forgiveness. It could open doors, but it could not force someone to walk through them. 1 year later, Callaway Global launched the community center project that had brought so many changes into our lives. The building represented more than business success. It represented healing, second chances, and the power of people choosing compassion over pride. Standing there during the daytime opening ceremony, I watched Everett and Adrian together. They were still different. They still had different personalities and different dreams. But the distance between them was gone. The brothers who once lost years to silence had finally found their way back to each other. I also realized something about my own journey. I had entered Everett's office believing I needed that job to save my career. But life had given me something far greater. It gave me the chance to witness forgiveness between two people who thought they were too far apart to heal. Sometimes the people who seem the strongest are carrying the deepest wounds. Sometimes the coldest hearts are simply hearts that have been waiting for someone to understand them. And sometimes the greatest love stories are not about finding someone new, but about helping people find their way back to what they almost lost. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Before this story ends, I would love to know your thoughts. Leave a meaningful comment and tell us what lesson touched you the most. Was it forgiveness, family, second chances, or the courage to let go of old pain? Because in the end, Everett Callaway did not become truly rich when he built his billion-dollar empire. He became rich when he finally found the people and the love that money could never replace. And that was the greatest victory of all.